The Undercountry Music News is an excerpt of the weekly internet broadcast Undercountry Music, which features music from great country artists you won't hear on mainstream radio, as well as a roundup of the most interesting country music news of the week without all the fluff. This program you're listening to right now contains only the news portion of the show. To listen and subscribe to the full weekly episode containing the music and interviews, please visit undercountry.com or simply subscribe to the Undercountry Music Podcast on iTunes. Let's get into it. Well, awesome. Well, that's good news. And you know what other kind of news we do here on Undercountry Music?
Undercountry news.
We do, because it's time for the Undercountry Music News! Yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what we like to hear. All right. Now the Undercountry Music News. Now, first off, for those of you just joining us, because I do break the Undercountry Music News out as its very own show on certain platforms that only allow a talk format. So for those of you just now joining us, first off, you can get the full episode, not just the news, by going to undercountrymusic.com. Undercountrymusic.com. You get the full episode. But since you're here and just listening to the news right now, we are hanging out with a band out of Indiana, Lafayette, Indiana, I believe, called Traveling Broke and Out of Gas. They've joined me on the phone from a gas station bathroom in Biloxi, Mississippi, right? They're passing the hooch around and hanging out with us. Hey, say hello to everyone who's just joined us here on the Undercountry Music News.
Welcome to the show.
Hello. Salutation.
Yes. All right. Now, Traveling Broken Out of Gas, I don't think they quite know what they've gotten themselves into here. And I think they're one of those bands that really is not going to care too much because, first off, do you guys know what the Undercountry Music News is?
No. It sounds like news under country music, though.
Right. Well, what I do is I round up the week in country music news. Now, I do a little different, though, because what I do is I type the words country music news into Google, and whatever websites come up on the front page of Google, and I've noticed in my history of doing this that most websites that proclaim to have country music news, you go on there, and it's crap like Sarah Darling's new haircut. Will it ruin her career? And BS like that.
Sarah Darling.
Yeah, exactly. And now, or like Taylor Swift's new toenail polish, or Luke Bryan reveals a third nipple, or something like that. Well, that one I would report that one, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm right. That happens.
Brett Eldridge's favorite color of socks, crap like that. These country music news outlets are really, you'll see 6 stories like that, and then you'll have one, and if you're lucky, 2 stories that are actual news that people need to read and hear in their ear. And that's what I do. I find those 1 or 2 stories from each of those places, and I compile them. And I compress them until they're a little tiny compressed ball. And I keep adding pressure, and I add it more and more and more and more until it becomes a diamond. A diamond of country music news. And that's what I bring to the listeners of Undercountry Music each and every week. Now, here's the dangerous part, and which will scare most of the artists that co-host on the show with me, who are all looking for mainstream country music careers and are trying to make friends and buddies. And this part usually scares the pants off of them. Well, since you're standing in a bathroom that might not be the worst thing at the moment, but when I get to a website and all they have are like Luke Bryan's favorite socks or some BS like that, I reward one unlucky website each and every week. And actually last week I broke new ground because I rewarded 2 websites with it. And that thing that I rewarded them with was the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. Are you ready to ruin any chance of a career that you may have in mainstream country music?
Yes.
All right. Something tells me you're kind of already on that path. All right. Over at CMT, are you familiar with CMT, Country Music Television?
Yes.
Right out of the gate. Right out of the gate, we have our unlucky recipient of the Undercountry Music News Wet Belch of the Week. Because over at CMT, it's crap music television. Crap, pure crap. Nothing but crap. Did I mention they had crap over there this week?
That's crappy.
I know. All right. Over at countryweekly.com. The most interesting country music news over there is actually about the FX channel's animated series Archer. You familiar with that? The cartoon Archer?
Awesome show.
Okay, now one of the animated characters on the show, Cheryl. You familiar with her?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay, she's changed her name to Cherlene. And
Yeah.
That's what I saw. We were drunk the other night in a hotel and flipping through channels, and we saw the show, but we didn't know what was going on. But okay.
yeah.
Sugar hat.
And she's released a country album. For real, a real actual country album that you can actually get. Now, you can actually download it, okay? You can download the entire album over at iTunes. And one of the songs from this album, Midnight Blues, is over for your listening pleasure in its entirety over at countryweekly.com.
So is it like a spoof or is it like a real album?
Well, I'm guessing it's supposed to be a spoof. Okay, now I'm saying it's supposed to be a spoof, kind of like how Spinal Tap was supposed to be a spoof of a band.
Right.
Or Metalocalypse.
But Spinal Tap ended up making better music than most of real bands that are out there. More interesting and entertaining anyway. So anyway, you see where I'm going with this. I went over and I checked out the iTunes link for this album, and I got to tell you, it's the best damn collection of country music I have heard coming from any major entertainment media outlet in a very, very long time. And it's really sad that in order to put out good music these days, you have to put it out as a joke. I mean, who's the joke on here, you know?
Wow.
There's
you think to be a joke, but then when you listen to it, I can never even heard it. I can probably tell you it's probably better than most of what.
Yeah, look at this cartoon country singer, and it's better than most crap that's out there right now.
Exactly. I mean, like with a song title like "Broken Hearts and Auto Parts," how can you go wrong?
That sounds like Hank Williams.
And now, there are 3 cover songs on the album and 8 originals. And I like the originals best, like Broken Hearts and Auto Parts, but the cover songs, they have the highest ratings on iTunes, of course. And one of the songs is including a duet with Kenny Loggins. Yes, for real, Kenny Loggins actually sings on this song.
Yeah.
Kenny Loggins and Cherlene from Archer, and they're doing a country version of Highway to the Danger Zone.
That's awesome.
Anyway, you know what? I got to tell you, a cartoon country artist, it's not that far of a cry than the parade of manufactured characters coming out of Music Row these days. So, You know, why not?
Right.
We pretty much have cartoon country artists anyway. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Over at GAC, Great American Country. Last week, now normally their news just sucks. And the only thing that ever saves Great American Country is that they throw a recipe in there. And that's the only reason, because the recipe is always cool, and I love the recipe. It doesn't belong in the news section, but I always like telling about the recipe, so it saves their asses from the wet belch every single week. Now, last week, the recipe was from Nan Kelly, the host over there at GAC, otherwise known as One Pan Nan. Because she makes one-pan recipes. Now, which I'm sure you're no stranger to, seeing how you're on the road and probably sleeping in KOA campgrounds and things like that.
Yeah. Definitely lots of one-pan stuff.
Yeah, now you're, a lot, and I'm sure you do the thing where you buy potatoes and you roll them in aluminum foil and throw them on the little campfire grill for a while. You've done that one?
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit of Lowry's in there.
Yeah, and have you made Injun fish yet?
No, that's from days gone by, I think.
You make bread on the dashboard in the summertime.
No, I've definitely done hot dogs on the dashboard, though.
Well, anyway, now last week, One Pan Nan Kelly, that got me speculating, because their normal weekly recipe is normally from Crystal Keith, the daughter of Toby Keith. And when I saw Nan Kelly having the recipe last week, it got me thinking, wow, what happened? Did they give Crystal Keith the old heave-ho over there and plug in one of their own? Well, this week, Crystal is back with a vengeance. She's not taking this one-pan Nan crap anymore. She shoved that pan up Nan's, and this week, she's come back fighting with cookies.
Oh, man.
She's got a recipe. Yeah, she's got a recipe for soft chocolate chip cookies. You guys make dashboard cookies?
No, I might try, though.
That's not a bad idea.
Or off of an engine block, maybe.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Since we're burning vegetable oil, it would only make them softer, I think.
I am so not going to talk about vegetable oil and soft things right now. It presents a nice segue over into tasteofcountry.com. Now, you guys familiar with the most interesting story over at Taste of Country this week is about a pipe bursting in the Reba McEntire Center for Rehabilitation in Denison, Texas.
All right.
Now, one of you are from Texas, right?
I'm the only one born in Texas, but
I was raised in Texas.
got you.
Yeah.
He was born there, but he doesn't remember it.
Okay. Now, where's Denison, Texas?
I'm East Texas. I don't know, though.
I think it's just south of Dallas, Fort Worth, maybe.
I know where Denton is. That's north of Dallas. But
Yeah, I think it's
I'd say near Tyler.
Okay, well,
up there somewhere.
We honestly have no clue.
No, I don't think.
I'm just assuming where Reba McEntire would have a rehab center. So
yeah, the Reba McEntire Center for Rehabilitation in Denison, Texas, had a pipe burst, and that made the country music news roll over at Taste of Country.
Crappy.
I know. I mean, come on. I mean, I'll admit it's a story that nobody else ran, which kind of gives them the Undercountry Music News news coup of the week. But, I mean, really, is this the juiciest story they can come up with over at Taste of Country? A pipe bursting in a building named after a country artist?
Yeah, she must have gone over there and sabotaged it to make the news.
Yeah, well, apparently the water got ankle high.
It's all her fault, isn't it?
I would imagine. You know, here's your one chance, Fancy. Don't let me drown.
Yeah, I knew there was a joke there somewhere.
You know, it didn't come to me until the punchline. I had no idea where I was going with that. All right. Over at theboot.com, the most interesting story I could find over at The Boot also wasn't all that interesting. But I have to report something here, don't I?
Yeah, I think so.
I got a job to do, don't I?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Steel Magnolia. They address questions about their future. Now, you may know that Steel Magnolia broke up a little while back. Now, both
I thought it
members...
was just movie. I didn't even know this band.
Now, both members of the duo Steel Magnolia, Megan Lindsay and Joshua Scott Jones. Now, most people with three names, they usually end up being serial killers, I've noticed. No, or voiceover artists. Now, they've both posted on the Steel Magnolia Facebook page that they each are doing solo projects right now, but would not rule out a future reunion.
Of course not.
And that's the only thing the Boots got going on this week. I mean, come on. This is sad, isn't it? This is the country music news roll this week.
At least it's actually about music as opposed to the whole paper.
Well, that's his diamond.
Yeah.
He has to sift through all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd say that one at least gets a point or two for being about music. Even if it's
that's true.
music that I've never heard of.
Well, here's more music that you've probably never heard of. Because over at Nashville Gab, where I usually find something really interesting, this week Blake Shelton and Miranda Lambert buy a home in Nashville.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, country star is buying a home in Nashville. Say it ain't so.
Yeah, really. That's probably the first time that's happened.
I'm saying.
They're pioneers.
Breaking news. Okay.
Well, all the real country stars live down in Murfreesboro.
That's what I'm saying. They sure do. I got Shooter Jennings asleep on my couch right now. Anyway. All right, so Blake and Miranda buy a home in Nashville. And that's pretty much all the story said. That was it. No information on what side of town, how big the place is, how much the place costs. Nothing. Just that they bought a home somewhere in Nashville. And, I mean, the best story they report is crap to begin with, and they don't even get that right. But they do have a link of a picture gallery of the house, which shows the house inside and out. And it is a mansion, like you wouldn't have figured that out, and it's pretty nice digs. But I'm serious. They tell you nothing about it, but they have say click here for a picture gallery. I clicked there, and I got to a page that said click here for a picture gallery. I got there and said, here's the picture gallery. Click here. I'm like, finally, after like 4 deep, I get to the damn picture gallery. And it's got like 6 or 7 shots of the place inside and out, and it's pretty cool. I mean, they ain't living in an old school bus running on Wesson, you know.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, that's news.
All right. Now, here's one that you guys can probably dig. CountryMusicIsLove.com. Arista Nashville's The Swon Brothers debut single, Later On, received 81 combined Country Air Check and Billboard radio ads this week, earning the most one-week ads of any debut single in Country Air Check history. Now, the single co-written...
Did you just tell us that they got a record for running the most ads?
I think that might be what it means. No. That means more radio stations have added them.
Okay.
Yeah, Billboard Radio ads, like ADDS.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, the single, co-written by Ryan Hurd, Joey Hyde, and Justin Wilson, is also the #1 most added song on Mediabase this week. Now, with all that going for it, I had to hear what was so frickin' hot about this song. Now, wouldn't you think? I ran right over there and gave it a listen.
How was it?
You know what I heard? I heard a turd full of one pant load of cliches after another. I'm serious. Somebody literally farted this crap out in a Biloxi bathroom, I'm telling you. Is that what you guys are doing in your free time over there? All the songs that you guys don't want to sing, you write the worst crap you can, you send it into Music Row, and you're really secret millionaires back there just laughing at the music industry while you...
Yeah, we bag up our flashlights and send it to them.
We've got this little gerbil-powered country music generator, and it's just full of little pieces of paper which have cliches written down on them, and then whatever the gerbil spins the wheel to, we put, that's the next line of the song. And
it's very cool because it works every time.
Every time.
Kind of like that episode of South Park where the dolphins kind of move the idea balls around at random. I wish there was that much thought put into this crap. Holy moly! Okay, we got one more country music news outlet to check in with here this week, and that is countrystandardtime.com.
Standard time. That's pretty good.
I can't even make this stuff up. I mean, really, that's why I go and find the news section, because, I mean, literally, I could be a comedic genius, and I could not invent the stuff that I get out of these places. Okay? Anyway, over at Country Standard Time, the most interesting story I could find there was that Steel Magnolia's singer, Joshua Scott Jones, who doubles as a serial killer, has released a song called Honk If You're Tonky.
Wow.
Talk if you're talking, or honk if you're talking?
Honk if you're tonky.
Honk if you're tonking.
Like honk if you're
Wait.
Honk if you're tonking, I think.
Honk if you're tonky.
Honk if you're a
Tonky?
Okay. All right, let me spell this out. Honk, H-O-N-K. If you're tonky, T-O-N-K-Y.
Honk if you're tonky. Got it.
Yeah, that's clever.
That's an awesome bumper sticker.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether or not to love that or to freaking gouge my eyes out with a fork.
It's so bad.
I think B. I was just about to write that song.
I swear I'm gonna. It's time to beat my head against my desk here. Wait.
And I can just hear the fake twang on it when he's singing it.
Honk if you're tonky.
Well, I have not heard this one yet, and I'm afraid. I'm afraid to go there. I checked, I looked in the top 20 yesterday, because I always have to make sure I get whatever's in the top 20, and Honk If You're Tonky wasn't there.
Figure.
But anyway, this has been your Undercountry Music News. Yeah. Now this is the part where the rest of the civilized world, where our talk channels, depart from us. So before we depart from our talk only show formats, Traveling Broken Out of Gas from Indiana is hanging out with me. They're on tour right now, busking on street corners, playing in bars. They're down in Biloxi, Mississippi right now in a Texaco bathroom, on the phone with me here. Hey, guys, tell everybody where they can find your music and where you're headed to next.
You can find our music on iTunes and also through our website at www.travelingbroke.com and on Bandcamp.
Tonight we're in
tonight means nothing on an internet broadcast because you never know when they're listening.
Yesterday we're in Ocean Springs. We're on our way making our way over to Texas. This Sunday, the 9th, will be
of March.
We'll be in Lafayette, Louisiana, and then we've got 2 weeks in Texas, and then we're out in New Mexico and Arizona and all that fun stuff.
Now the reason that you guys give a flying F about any of this is because Traveling Broken Out of Gas are unlike most country you've heard. They classify themselves as bastard Americana, and maybe give the people, because they're not the people that are on the talk show formats right now aren't going to have the pleasure of actually listening to your music unless they go to undercountrymusic.com to hear the entire full-length broadcast. So what do you guys kind of sound like, so you can describe it for the people on the talk formats?
Gosh, John Lee Hooker had a baby with Lemmy from Motorhead, and that baby married Dolly Parton.
And they were raised by gypsies.
And they were raised by Django Reinhardt, who cut his arm off and sold it to Waylon Jennings, who then...
that sounds like human trafficking.
Smack from Tom Waits. Okay, I'm doing something here. And then Linda Ronstadt, something like that.
All right, well, thank you very much, Traveling Broken Out of Gas. Now, these guys are going to hang out with me for the rest of this broadcast here, but we're gonna let our talk show only formats go right now, and see you later. See you, talk show formats. Hey, say bye to all the people.
Goodbye.
I know that's all the people out there in Spreaker land and also in YouTube land. Thank you for listening to the Undercountry Music News. The Undercountry Music News is just a small excerpt of the weekly hour-long internet broadcast Undercountry Music, where I, Neil Smith, not only round up the week in country music news and put my own spin on it, but I also play music and have great interviews by lesser-known original country acts, the kind that you won't hear on mainstream country radio. If you're thirsting for that, get on over to undercountry.com where you can listen and subscribe. You can also subscribe via iTunes to Undercountry Music. Thanks so much. Stay under, stay country.